Hello. So day 4 just finished the last game, and yeah, let's see the results of today. The playing's first group stage has now finished, um, but yeah, we got some rather interesting games. Some cool stuff happened here and there. Um, yeah, kind of crazy at points, but I felt it was not as outstanding as yesterday. But that's just my opinion. So the first game, Supermassive vs. TL. Um, Many expected it to be the match who goes first in this group, and yeah, it was rather one-sided. We saw some interesting picks again: Lilia, Akali, Silas, Graves, Twitch, and Shen. Um, yeah, I'm going to make a meta video on the picks and their win rate and statistics. um, After all of playoffs has concluded. We still get the best of five, remember. Um, so yeah, after that, I will make some highlights on that. Um, Armut again in top lane had some good rotations and yeah, was doing quite fine. Impact, bit of a connoisseur with the Shen top lane again, buying Titanic Hydra first and then going for support items. Um, if you're already tanky enough by levels or your gold lead or the enemy carries are really behind, then you can go for these greedy item paths, um, because these items are so gold efficient, um, in their passives and what they provide for your carries. So as a tank, if you're really ahead, or if the enemy carries are not that fat, you can in jungle or in top lane, you can go for a Knight's Vow or a Locket, and in some cases you can just go for one of these in a normal situation as well, because these items are really effective in certain spots, and if the enemy isn't able to punish you buying them, um, and you are able to protect your carry way more. It's a really highly recommended item or item build, I'd say. So Supermassive starts with early aggression, trying to get into the game with a blast, early rotations, and getting some herald. But TL, with their better players, still even in gold and ahead a bit with their CS leads. Nothing happening for most of the game. It was like um, yeah, it was just TL slowly winning because of their better skill. Then in the 21st minute, we saw some more interesting stuff. A Twitch Shen combo on the enemy on the enemy bot lane. TL snowballs that into an early Baron. Supermassive then then even gets a 3-for-3 fight. But it's not enough. TL with a 5k lead is able to secure more dragons and push the map pressure. Then Supermassive is caught in the jungle before Ocean Soul, and yeah, then TL finishes it with their 10k gold lead. Yeah, uh, Supermassive had some moments here and there, but overall TL was the better team, and yeah, that always showed on the gold graph. Following that, we had Mad Lions with Legacy Esports. It should have been an easy game for Mad Lions, but yeah, no one expected the Legacy Esports. Um, Lilia, Shen, Syndra, Galio, and Graves, like to keep in mind what champions are like highlighted, what are like outstanding or very interesting picks. Shadow oversteps here and there. Humanoid is a bit too aggressive at points. Um, and Isles enables Reese for strong bot against Mad. So the bot lane of Legacy was really performing. Um, Legacy overall getting all early neutrals and even winning some skirmishes, getting a 2k gold lead. Even in some fights, Mad Lions was getting some nice damage, but it was often not enough for the kill, resulting in a larger gold lead for Legacy and their easier teamfight combo, and getting them even more leads, resulting in a 3k gold lead for an extended period. Afterwards, Legacy was pushing for Baron. Mad Lions was able to stop it by some hero plays by Orome in the top lane, resulting in a slower game afterwards. So maybe there was some time for Mad Lions to scale. Yeah, but again, with a 4 versus 5 fight, Legacy is able to secure the Baron. Mad Lions, try to posture around a bit, and with an 1-6 Lilia and 0-3 Syndra, their AP champions were very weak and couldn't deal with Ornn, for example. And with even more pressure than with the Baron, Legacy was able to get the Ocean Soul. With that in combination with the weak AP carry champions, Carzzy was not able to control the tanks. I think he was playing Ezreal. Not a champion known for damaging tanks. So Legacy was able to run over Madman in the later stages and win the game finally. Then another expected easy game, INTZ versus Team Liquid. INTZ has to win this game, otherwise they're out of Worlds, because then they would be 0-4, right? If INTZ would win, they would have to play a tiebreaker against Mad Lions. So Lilia, Ashe, Twisted Fate, Senna, and Alistar again. We were seeing Alistar a few times today. So maybe that's a new support pick that's coming up. This game was rather conflicting. So there was a bot guard for TL, tactical 30 CS ahead in 9 minutes. But even though Envy, INTZ's mid laner, was roaming top lane and into the jungle, he was 20 CS ahead of Jensen. Overall, the early game was quite in favor for them, 8-2 in plates. Envy then using some nice TPs and ults with his Orianna, and Broxer getting caught here and there. Jensen not using his kill lead. He picked up there and there with his Twisted Fate to snowball other lanes. INTZ was even able to climb up again and be even. TL had some aggressive plays then and there, but they were not bringing them any major leads. And then INTZ was just happily outscaling them, and were able to get a Baron, and then pressuring the map further and further, getting more Drakes and inhibs, and after some pressure applied here and there, they were able to crack Team Liquid and win in the end by overwhelming them with their late game scaling and neutral objectives. This means INTZ is not eliminated, and they have to play a tiebreaker game against Mad Lions. Loser is eliminated, winner is fourth. But before that, we had now an interesting game between Supermassive and Legacy, both on 2-1. The winner would play Team Liquid in a tiebreaker match for first. And everyone was expecting Supermassive to win this one, thinking Legacy was just a one-hit wonder. But they proved them otherwise. Seeing again Ornn and Lilia, Wukong, Nidalee, and surprisingly Lulu mid pick. Yeah, Supermassive was a bit slumping in the early game, over-aggressing, giving up heralds and kills in the 8th minute, I think. And overall, Legacy was having more pressure on the map, pushing towards and getting CS leads. Supermassive was able to sneak some Drakes and was able to get to a 3rd dragon position. But then in a team fight, which was very bloody, it was a 4-4-3. Supermassive was falling further behind. A 20-minute Baron was the result for Legacy after they killed Supermassive's bot for another time. Like it was an 0-3 Aphelios and 1-4 Nautilus at that point. And Reis on Ezreal was 10-1-5. Their team comps had a large disparity as well. I mentioned Lulu mid. Supermassive was going all in for Zeitnot's Aphelios, and with him being 0-3, they would need hours of game time to get him online. But Legacy wouldn't give them that time. They had an 8k gold lead, and then with their team fight comp, with multiple threats and the 10, the really fat Ezreal, they were just rolling over Supermassive, Reis inting or having some hyper aggressive plays here and there, but Legacy was still able to win fights, get inhibs, and then overall slapping them with their money. A high kill per minute game, and Legacy was having a high kill participation overall, indicating or showing how they were always grouping and always team fighting to get their leads, and it was not much of individual 1v1 outplays, but more of a team effort to win this game. And that showed in the picks they were able to secure in the pick ban. Meaning now Legacy would be playing Team Liquid for a tiebreaker for first. But first of that, we had Mad Lions with INTZ, Graves, Wukong, Senna, Camille, and the Kog'Maw mid name for INTZ, AP Kog'Maw, right? Both teams look for scaling in the draft, and were playing really safe early with the latest blood so far in play-ins. INTZ was able to get a bit ahead, securing Herald and getting plates, establishing a 1k gold lead. Especially Tay in the top lane was huge, with good laning and then the help of 2 heralds. But the pressure was matched in bot lane. Matt was able to secure 2 drakes, and then they were both with their items in 20th minute around that. They were posturing in mid lane, having 2 really explosive fights with no deaths. But as the objectives weren't secured afterwards, they were posturing and looking for a fight again, which ended in a 5-4-3 in INTZ's favor. So INTZ being able to get ahead in this more mid-game scenario. But then, it got a bit all over the place. Humanoid shows bot. INTZ was able to rush Baron, and with only 1 sacrifice for it. But then INTZ is not able to hold their lead and takes unnecessary fights in Mad Lions jungle. Mad Lions then is able to push and get to Soul Point, right? I mentioned they were trading the Drakes for the early game top lane pressure. And INTZ was a bit scrambled afterwards, not really too coordinated, and playing more scared than they should have been, allowing Mad Lions to get the soul. And then after just getting a pick on Redbird, the support of INTZ, INTZ overall gets aced, and Mad Lions finish, securing their spot in the best of 5 phase of playoffs of play-ins, and eliminating Brazil's INTZ again in play-ins. Yeah, for both teams, this is rather disappointing. Mad Lions was looking for first or second in groups, and now they're fourth. Still better than eliminated, right? For INTZ, I predicted them to be last in this group, but yeah, for them and Brazilian fans, this is really disappointing. Not being able to repeat historic performances in the past. Then we go for the last tiebreaker match, Team Liquid against Legacy Esports. Shen, Graves, Thunder Arcade for Team Liquid, so overall really strong and comfortable picks. On the other hand, Ornn, Kindred, and Galio, so some tanks and scaling for Legacy. But yeah, Team Liquid just stomped them. It was a really rough game for Legacy. Team Liquid showed how much better their players are. Just through lane dominance, getting a 2k gold lead in 5 minutes, like being ahead in CS everywhere. Brox are playing very aggressively and really putting the game on his back, getting early kills, 2 camp lead on the enemy jungler. Then pushing into the bot jungle, pressuring bot lane, zoning the enemy bot lane, I think 2 or 3 times from their turret, and even killing them. They were running from the from the graves. Really strong play from him. LG Legacy was able to get Herald and the top gank, a top kill, but that was not enough by far. First turret their bot lane in the 11th minute. TL swaps top lane, and then Legacy overstays trying to defend the turret, which results in a dive and then a 4-0 for Team Liquid, and then they get the turret. Pushing that and securing more camps. 9k gold lead at 16 minutes. This gold lead stays, but it's way too much. And Team Liquid posturing around the inhib turrets of Legacy. They go all in for a desperate play, like double TP behind them, try to engage on the backline, and they nearly got them, but nearly is not close enough. TLL kills nearly all of them, and then pushing inhibs, looking for the finish, because it's just the 19th minute. Legacy respawns, getting I think 2 kills on TL, but that's not enough. They get aced completely, and yeah, TL finishes the game in just 20 minutes, 20 seconds, something like that. And yeah, that would have been the fastest game in Plains so far. That finishes the placings for Group A. Team Liquid in first, followed by Legacy and Supermassive, and then Mad Lions, lastly INTZ. So, meaning TL advances probably to Group B, with PSG making it first in Group B. Team Liquid is likely to be placed in Group A, assuming Mad Lions and LGD step up their game and make it through. Otherwise, we just know TL can't get in the group with TSM and FlyQuest, which means not C or D, and PSG can't be in Group A. But that's everything for now with these two teams. Afterwards, like tomorrow, we get the best of fives, which is Supermassive against Mad Lions, where the winner plays against Unicorns of Love. And on the other hand, we get Rainbow 7 against LGD, where the winner would then play against Legacy Esports. Coming to the MVPs, top lane, I have Impact. Even in the loss they had, he was really performing. Overall, buying the correct items on Shen, always helping his team, still not falling too far down in CS. His team fight, he was getting 2-man taunts quite regularly. Overall, strong performance. Don't be surprised for individual performance, I have to rank TL more highly than a team like Legacy. Both teams won a lot today, which is why they get many points in ranking. But Legacy won more on team play, which is a bit weaker in the rankings, right? Your team play is a strong aspect, but that's something for your whole team, and a team can hide individual misplays and individual weaknesses, while TL was getting leads through individual skill and then finishing in team effort and team plays. So for TL, I see and recognize their individual performances, that they're on a totally different level, and also with TL, then in the end smashing Legacy so convincingly, it is hard to rank Legacy players over them, which is not happening in most cases, right? Jungle mid lane, also Broxah Jensen. Jensen was not that outstanding today, but he was still getting the CS leads in most games, and then had some good team fights. Also, other mid laners weren't really popping off. Envy was okayish. Humanoid had some moments, but also was caught and over aggressing at many points. Tally from Legacy, yeah, he was quite okay, but then again, he was smashed by Jensen, and then, as I said before, more of a team player than pushing through individually, or like having standout team fights. He was doing very well, and he would be my second place mid lane MVP. But yeah, and Broxah, the last game, the Stomp was mainly all on him. He was the one who facilitated the leads in the bot lane, snowballing that into top lane, giving pressure to mid lane all the time. Yeah. In AD carry position, though, I have not tactical. I have Reese. Yes, Reese was losing bot lane against tactical, but then again, tactical had Broxah staying there 24 hours, and then Broxah zoning them off their turret like twice before like 12 minutes. So it's a bit understandable that this was a bit of a gap there in the bot lane in that game. But he had hard carry performances against Supermassive, and even against Mad Lions Carzzy, he was holding his own to a certain extent, and then even winning and popping off in the team fights. So yeah, I have to acknowledge his great performance today. Similar story with his support IELTS. He even had a better game than Reese in the Mad Lions game, I think, having some clutch plays there. Overall, this is really hard to say, because like Broxah had a really strong game, but Reese was more valuable for his team, right? This is the difficulty of MVP, because it can be and it is interpreted differently. So the best player of today would have been Broxah, but I think the most valuable player for his team today was Reese, carrying the games and being the reliable carry they needed. So I am giving Reese the overall MVP today, but note how I argue for this, because the perspective is important here. Honorable mention, it's Armut from Supermassive, even in their losses, finding good flanks, having decent team fights, really nice Wukong ults here and there, even individually in the top lane. Barring the impact matchup, he was doing really fine. So yeah, I have him as an honorable mention. Additionally, INTZ's Tay, sad for him. Similar to V3's past in top lane. I feel the top laners in these losing teams are often the only saving graces, or maybe it's just because they're top lane and no one plays around top lanes that much in planes. Maybe that's why they look good, but yeah. So Armut getting that spot. Yeah. And tomorrow we will see the best of fives. I'm not sure if we are going to see all of them tomorrow. I think not. I think we only see 2 of them. And then the day after we see the qualification best of 5, where the winner moves into group stage. So yeah, looking forward to that. Yeah, that's it. Hope you all have a great day, and yeah, see you tomorrow.